Hello, or good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. My name is Jonathan, and I have a riddle for you. Where is the only place you cannot go to? For example, we go to the store, we go to the movies, we go to church, we go to the museum, we go to the theater, we go to Spain, we can go to the moon, we can go to Mars. Where is the only place you cannot go to? Okay, there's two places. What are the only two places you cannot go to? All right, while you think about that, let me tell you about myself. My name's Jonathan. I am from Minnesota, from the United States. I grew up there. I went to university and I got a BS degree in teaching English. I graduated cum laude with honors because I had good grades. And in the US, I taught for over 10 years. I taught children, ages, say, 9 to 13. About 30 years ago, I moved to Japan and I taught English for 2 years in Japan, obviously to Japanese people. And in 2011, I moved to Ukraine and started teaching English to natives here. So I have 10 years, over 10 years of experience of teaching in the US. I have over 10 years of teaching outside of the US. And I have the educational background to be a good teacher. So education and experience. I'm also a member of Mensa, if you know what that means. If not, no big deal. All right, I teach students whose level is from pre-intermediate up to they are English teachers. I've had many students over the last 30 years who were English teachers, and they came to me to improve their English. I've taught group classes, I've taught business English, and I've taught for tests. Every single student that I have tutored to prepare for a test, for example, the IELTS, every student I have tutored passed the test. So, in short, I'm a very good teacher. I'm very qualified. Now, when I was at university, at one point, one of my professors asked us to write about our favorite teacher, our most memorable teacher, and we had to write about it, him or her, and then we had to read it or give us a little speech about this teacher, why we picked this teacher. And we all did this exercise, and then the professor said, it's interesting that not one of you said she was my favorite teacher because she was so smart, or he was my favorite teacher because he had so much experience. All of you chose your favorite teacher because there was some kind of a connection. The teacher unlocked something in you, or motivated you, or encouraged you in some way. And so I began this video by listing my qualifications, but that doesn't mean I'm the right teacher for you necessarily. In fact, you may be, some of you may be surprised to hear this, but I do not accept every student that wants to have classes with me. Sometimes they want classes with me, but I'm not interested in them. Usually because they're not motivated. I need motivated students. I need students who really are committed to learning the language. You must give me 2 hours a week. You must be willing to do your homework. You must be willing to do writing assignments. If you are not, don't waste my time. I'm not interested in teaching you. I really just want to focus on the people who will work hard. All right. I began this video with a riddle. What are the only two places you cannot go to? Okay. Number one, you cannot go to home. You go home. Okay. Hey, Jimmy, what do you want to do? Oh, man, I'm so tired. I just want to go home. You go home. All right. Now, the other one, now around the world, people looking for some nightlife, great restaurant, theater, a club, they go to the center of the city, but not Americans. Americans don't go to the center of the city. Americans go downtown. They do not go to downtown, they go downtown. Unless they live in New York or Minneapolis, in which case they might go downtown or they might go uptown. But either way, they don't go to downtown, they do not go to uptown, they just go downtown and go uptown. All right, so the two places you cannot go to, home and downtown. You just go there. All right, now the word to is a preposition. Prepositions are those little tiny words that show relationships between the other words in the sentences. In, on, at, by, near, in front, behind, next to, above, below. These are prepositions. All right. Today, I'll give you a little free lesson here. 3 times that we do not need prepositions. Number 1, when you go home or when you go downtown, no preposition. All right. Number 2, normally when we say a day or a date, we say on Friday, on the 14th. Okay. Normally when we talk about a month or a year, we say in 1945, in October. All right. What about the words yesterday and tomorrow? On yesterday, in yesterday, or yesterday? The answer, all of you smart people know the answer is yesterday, because I said these are 3 instances when we do not use a preposition. So I went to the bank yesterday. I'm going to the barber tomorrow. All right, next week, last week, this week, next month, last year, all of those, next, last, this. No prepositions. All right, this month we're very busy. Last year I made $1 million. Next month I'm getting married, and so on. No prepositions needed. All right, and the last one is in versus into. All right, what's the difference between in and into? They're both prepositions. All right, they both show relationships. What's the difference? He is in the room, she walks into the room. Into suggests motion and movement. All right, he's in the room. The plant is in the room. The TV is in the room. They're not moving. They don't have to be moving anyway. But into, she came into the room. He walked into the theater. All right. I put my hands into my pocket. My friend stood there with his hands in his pockets. All right. You see, in his pockets, they're there. Into, there's motion, movement. All right. Now, here's the question. The verb enter, to come in, right? Please enter. Please come in. All right. Do you enter in a room? Do you enter into a room? Or do you enter a room? And again, you clever people say, well, This is too easy. He said there were 3 instances without a pronoun, without a preposition. Yes, you're right. You enter a room, you enter the theater, you enter the auditorium, you enter the shower. All right, now, just in case any of you were thinking that English is easy and logical and simple to learn, let me tell you that you can enter into something. Enter into is a verb. It is a compound verb, but it's a very specific, special compound verb. It applies usually to companies or to countries. For example, the 2 companies entered into negotiations to talk about a merger. Enter into negotiations. All right. The 2 countries entered into an agreement about refugees. All right, so companies, countries can enter into something. You and I, mostly, we enter. No prepositions needed. All right? Now, sorry, I got distracted for a moment. What do you get with classes from me? Number 1, obviously, an experienced, very qualified teacher. Number 2, I supply the textbooks. Give you a textbook, and 95% of the time, I'll give you a workbook that goes with it. The textbook for class, the workbook for homework. But because I've been teaching so long, I've got loads of supplementary material. So I will pull out worksheets and activities and exercises that you need. Maybe my other student who's in the same book as you doesn't need that worksheet, but I can individualize my lessons because of my experience and my supplies. So, to conclude, let me just say that, as I said, I'm particular about the students that I accept. You have to be a motivated student you have to really want to learn. Not I hope or I wish I could speak English. No. I'm going to learn English. Yes. All right. You'll meet twice a week. You'll do your homework. You'll not cancel classes. That's what I want. I want motivated students. And I want you, all right, this sounds like cheap trick here. I want you to want me. So the first class is always it's either free or it's at a big discount, because I want to give you 1 hour of my time so that you can check me out. You can decide if I'm the teacher that you want. So, free or discounted first classes. All right. This has been going on way too long. All right. Final thought here. There are 2 types of riddles. All right. The first type of riddle is a brain puzzler. Where's the only place you cannot go to? Okay, that's a logic puzzle, or in this case, grammar puzzle. Riddle. All right, there's 2 kinds of riddles. There's logical riddles and there's funny riddles. All right, so let me finish with a couple of funny riddles here. What goes up but never goes down? Your age. What goes up and goes down but never moves? A stairway. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. Get it? A parrot, a carrot? I can go all night. Here's one. Here's one. Little twisted humor. What turns around 200 times after it dies? A roast chicken. That's a little harsh. All right, I better go now. I better go now. Anyway, if you'd like classes with me, follow the instructions and let me know. Bye bye.